We are alive.
And we are alive.
Also, good.
High five. Today we are alive as never, probably because the topic is very lively. It's about our inner child, about how to take care, how to reconnect, how to develop the intimate relationship. So let's give a minute or two. Oh, already two people. Whoa!
Nice.
Yeah, okay, guys. I want to say that please feel free to join the discussion and comment. We see your comments, and the one who will not be speaking will answer you. And also, we will participate, we will communicate with you on audio as well.
Mm.
So, yeah, for now, then introduction is made, and we can,
Just go to the topic of
yeah,
the playful inner child.
exactly. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our beautiful space, to the channel of Tilly, Lily, and the universe. Welcome to the space where all the magic happens, to the space where we dive deep into the fundamental topics of life, to the depths of those. And for today's menu, the topic is about the inner child. It's our fifth episode, and the topic sounds inner child, the one you must listen to succeed authentically. And I don't know how about you, Tilly, but I'm really excited to speak about this topic. And my inner child, my little Lily, is already like,
Yes.
give me the mic.
Nice. Yeah, I'm also excited. I think lately I've been reflecting a lot about myself, my patterns, and what do I do. And I always got went back to what did I do when I was a kid? Because a lot I could learn from that way. Also, things you can maybe change. But yeah, I think if I look back at myself as a kid, I learn a lot what I can also use now. So it's very interesting to look at. Yeah.
So, what I hear from you is that you are coming back into remembrance, right?
Yes, for sure. In more playfulness and remembrance of how I acted and how I saw the world back then. Um, because of course you gain a lot of wisdom when you get older, but at the same time, I feel that you can be so wise when you are a kid. Or uh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful. Beautiful, and definitely so let's start then from defining actually the child. When you hear the child, when you envision the child, what the characteristics come first in your mind?
Playfulness, curiosity, openness. Those three are the main ones, I think.
Mm,
And you
for
have
me,
similar.
yeah, for me comes wonder, but
Mm,
it's the same as curiosity. Also, open heart,
yes,
also imagination, limitlessness.
I like that one.
Uh-huh.
Limitlessness. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what you are coming back into remembrance, right?
Mm,
Of how we believed that everything is possible, and for me as well, I'm in the same process of trying to find out where and when was that moment in my life that I stopped believing, that I stopped really believing that life is limitless. So I'm on the same process and the same journey as you.
nice.
And then, yeah, when we define what how we see a child, now it's easier to connect to our inner child. And I would like to continue with the scripture very fast to remind from the Bible that is one of my most like one of my favorite ones, and it's Mark 10:14, 16, and Matthew 18:3. I combine those two. And in the Bible, it's written, "But when Jesus saw it, he was indignant and said to them, 'Let children come to me. Do not hinder them, for to such belongs the kingdom of God. Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven.'"
Wow. The last statement's very powerful. You will never enter the kingdom of my children. Nice.
And what does it mean for you, entering the kingdom of heaven?
To be in a feeling of oneness, um, not having expectations of life, but really playing in the moment and fun also. And therefore, not having this thoughts about your ego, or so it's just presence and fun. And yeah, I think I had it a lot as a kid also, but then thoughts come and appear more and more often, and you lose it a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, what I hear from you is that state of bliss, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, for me also, it's that imagination and allowing myself to imagine limitless possibilities and then get inspired by that imagination and then create based on that. Or a child also for me represents creativity,
Mm. I like that.
because
Yeah.
when a child is with their open heart, and most of them are with open heart unless they are already damaged by the adults, uh, then I mean we have different, yeah.
No,
But
it was just in a
it,
way funny, but you're right. That's how it works,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, but
Mm.
thank you that you pointed it out because
Mm.
it sounded really funny now when I but what I meant by that was that we have different kind, let's say, of people in the world, uh,
Mm.
and they have less mean intentions, more mean intentions, and those who are not that likely, those children who are not that likely, and get into the family of really mean uh, and hurtful adults, then they damage a child from early childhood. So yeah, those are possibilities, but we are talking about those children who are in more or less a healthy family and they are still with their open heart and not that much into their mind,
Mm.
and that's why um, they are creative, because I myself as adult experienced that when I allow my heart to open up, my creativity starts popping like crazy. Can you recognize it with yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I have one example of where I was 15 and I experienced an extreme feeling of bliss in my room. I remember, and like I can be happy during the day now too, but it was so extreme that it befalls on you. Like whoa! And that was when I was making a video for YouTube. It was the first years of YouTube, I think. So sometimes when I thought throughout my life back always to that moment, and I was like, I want that feeling again, but I couldn't pinpoint how I got it, and I thought it had to do with me posting something. So it was hard to find out, but then when I analyzed it, I realized it was because I had this openness, this limitless imagination. It was just the creativity of expressing myself in the moment, and that all together led to that bliss. But now there was so much mind with it, like, oh, I had an expectation of the end result, what people would think of it, blah 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 blah. So there was no heart, but only the mind blocking this creativity. Um, so it took me like 10 years maybe to find out why I had this bliss then. And it was pure, beautiful heart expression in the moment. So yeah, I know it. And
Oh,
I'm sometimes a bit annoyed that I forgot that how it worked and I let my mind uh, judge and having expectations of the outcome. And yeah, silly.
silly, tilly, tilly, silly.
Nice. Yes. New nickname.
Oh, but
Yeah.
I can feel your little one right now. How she's like little bit shy, little bit
Mm,
embarrassed that
yeah,
like
that's
and
true.
telling to your adult self that hey, you forgot me. Like,
Yeah, you
do
forgot
you
how to
didn't?
play. Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember how in a good relationship we have been
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
we
beautiful.
used to be actually?
I like that you see now take the child versus me as another perspective so you can interact. And I do feel that too sometimes like, oh, I want to make my younger self now proud between quotations. So I'm just gonna play fully in the moment and not having any adult expectations, so to say. So yeah, it's cool to see it as an other person, a part of you, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually now when I'm listening to you, what I hear also we can go move forward the topic that I wanted to touch upon this as well, and you just opened it up that you see that what stops inner child is our thoughts. And I came here to say that what stops the inner child to open up is emotional attachments. But can you
Okay.
see that it's one and the same?
If you can elaborate a little bit more for me on what emotional attachment is.
Aha, okay. Emotional attachment is when we attach to people, places, situations emotionally.
Mm.
For example, when a child attached to the mother and like emotionally craves for the nurture of the mother,
Okay.
when or so the same like attaching to the emotion of what how will I feel if people will judge me.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. That's for
And
sure. Yeah, for me, I would also consider that thoughts indeed, like, or how the other perceives me. It's totally different separation from the oneness in the moment. So,
yeah,
yeah.
and actually, so first comes the thought, and the thought then creates the emotion,
Mm,
which
yeah.
we attach to. And the moment we attach to the emotion, that's when we shut the heart down.
Ah, yes. Wow.
Because the child is free, right? That's another
Mm. Oh,
characteristic
great.
freedom.
Freedom, for sure. Yes, beautiful.
Freedom, play,
Yeah.
create, all of that good jazz. And when we attach to the emotion, we are not free anymore because
Mm,
imagine that there is like some handle on the wall, right? And we attach to that handle. That handle represents the emotion.
yeah.
And we can't move if we hold on to that. We need to drop, let go, and then we are free to move, to go.
Mm.
So the same with emotions, and that was my yesterday's actually process. Yesterday, you know that I shared with you. That's how we came up to this topic. Was my day dedicated for my inner child. My little one, in the morning, just came and told in the bed I was still laying. It was Lily. Today you dedicate, uh, like you dedicate this Sunday for me, and I'm like. Okay, that's
Okay.
pretty demanding, but let's go with the flow.
Uh-huh.
And it was beautiful. And I realized these are the lessons now for me about the inner child, that my inner child was having so many emotional attachments to many different people, to my mom, to my dad, to my brothers, to my grandpa, to my friend, to and all of those expectations, unmet needs of my little one. I became aware that I had so many needs, emotional needs, that were not met by
Mhm.
people that are the most dear to my heart. And that's what I learned, that it's very important in order for us to reconnect to our inner child. There are a few different ways actually how to do it. One way, as you shared, Tilly, is to play, to have fun without like leaving the mind somewhere out, right?
Yeah.
This is one of ways to reconnect with our inner child. Another way is to listen to the emotions. And in order to listen to the emotions, we need to express it.
Mm.
Actually, no, I would say first listen, then express the emotion. And the how to say inner child speaks through emotions, through the heart. But okay, emotions don't live in the heart, but uh, the soul speaks through the heart, through the feelings, and the only one feeling is love, while
Mm.
all the rest is emotions. And inner child, when we listen to our emotions, we understand what our little one tries to tell us. For
And what?
example, what
Mhm.
can you tell me, Lily? Tilly, Tilly, Lily, Lily, Tilly. Can you tell me, for example, the latest emotion that you discovered, that you became aware of? What was that?
Mm, good question. Uh, I'm not sure if it's really an emotion, but it was more a feeling of, well, maybe with yeah, uncomfortable feeling of worry, more sadness related, very, very short. Um, and yeah, I think that's it.
Why
Probably
the
more, but mm.
why very short sadness?
I don't know. It was when I was with family or my grandmother, and I think it's just something that appeared,
Mm.
and luckily also I can let it go quite easily.
Okay, I'm not going to dig deep into
Yeah.
personal stuff. I see. I just why I asked that question, because what I felt that you just brushed it away. What does it mean for you to let go?
Yeah, okay, maybe this was not the best example because we can also question if it was really my own emotions.
Ah,
But
okay,
but
got it.
let's say indeed, okay, let's say it was my emotion. Then in this case I didn't look at it very well and just continue with what I was doing. But really letting go means something different to me. That is looking at it and really expressing it, can be crying or really asking
Yeah,
yourself where it comes from, and then seeing it with the perspective of love, and then um, yeah, then you can
be-
really give it a place somewhere instead of just not looking at it, avoiding it basically. um,
beautiful.
yeah. And that, yeah, I think you can always ask, and I would not say now the word inner child, but I would more use higher self, but maybe it's connected. I always ask, like, where is this coming from and what is this showing about me, this emotion? Because it's always a reflection of your beliefs or, yeah, your thoughts. Um, and then it's quite often gives a very wise answer. Yeah.
Well,
But now I'm switching from inner child to higher self, so maybe we should
no,
stick
no,
to
no.
what we did, I guess.
Actually, it's a very interesting question,
Mm,
dilemma. What is it? Is it possible that inner child is our higher self? And I wouldn't be surprised if it is,
mm,
because a child knows more, because a child is more connected to the divine.
very true. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what?
this infinite imagination is, I think, what the divine also is. So in that sense, an inner child can see way more, yeah, than all the limits that we gathered throughout the years. Mm.
Yeah. Oi. Yeah.
Maybe you can give a better example for also people who are listening. I don't know about a moment you had an emotion and you thought your inner child was trying to tell you something, because I don't have it very clear now.
Yeah. I why I asked that question? I just wanted to see how you relate to your inner child.
Mm.
And that's something that I love doing with my clients when the inner child topic comes up. It's very fast, very easy for me to see um, what the relationship they have, and even if they have such meaning relationship with their emotions, it's equal relationship with the inner child. And what I discover through the work with others, that many people, they don't have even rich vocabulary to describe, to identify what they are actually feeling.
Mm.
And that's why it's very important to tune into our emotions and listen what it is, and try to find a word to give it,
Mm.
to express it, to acknowledge it. Yeah, that's the word, to acknowledge it. But also, we can't see something that is not expressed, right?
Mm,
Or
what do you mean with that?
we can't see something what is not being expressed, meaning if we don't express, we can't see. Like, if something is not expressed to us, we can't see, right?
Like from someone else? Or you mean in
Yeah.
general also emotions is also an expression? Or you mean like crying or talking it out loud
It's
to
now
someone?
I'm speaking generally, like when something is not expressed, then
Hmm.
it's not seen.
Yeah. Well, yes, I guess if it depends on your
If
definition of expressing, but
okay, tell me, how do you see it? How
well,
it could be?
I would think when I think of expressing more of really speaking out loud or crying or yelling or laughing. But if something bubbles up inside, if you so to say a thought or an emotion, then you can also see it, but it's not expressed. But then maybe you mean expression also with internal things. So that was my question.
Yeah, yeah. It's you. We don't need to have a witness on the outside. We
Mhm.
are the witnesser of our
Okay,
emotion.
yes. Then I agree. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because if the emotion arises, and if a person is in the pattern of incorrect letting go, that I will not look to it,
Mhm.
and constantly pushing away, not allowing to rise up more,
Mm.
then there will be no acknowledgement, and a child
Yeah.
will feel not seen, ignored, suppressed, repressed. And what
Mhm.
happens then when, how do you think what happens when a child, and people who is following the our conversation and discussion, feel free to also to answer these questions that I'm asking Tilly and that she is asking as well. Let's go into discussion. And the question is, I hope I didn't forget. Yeah, what happens? How do you think what happens to the child when he or she is not given the time space to express herself.
I think it gets angry or frustrated because it wants attention.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the first thing and only thing that pops up now for me.
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah.
And additionally, it can be also then temper tantrums start
Temper
happening.
tantrums. Yeah.
Or it can be completely opposite. A child can completely shut down, and be
Mm,
so quiet and shy and hide in the corner and be afraid of opening the mouth
yeah.
that it will a a grown-up child will be constantly depressed because of fear to express herself or himself. So, and this consumes a lot of emotions because many negative thoughts will spin in the head of the child.
Mm,
My mom, my dad doesn't love me because they don't allow me to express myself.
yeah.
I'm judged every time when I express my emotions. This and that.
Mm.
And these are emotional attachments.
Yeah, that's also an interesting step you make now because we mostly talked about playfulness, creation, freedom. But I think there's also a negative parts you can take with you, maybe from what your inner child or what you experienced as a child. Um, yeah.
And I love our balance. Tilly, can you see that you are so? Even I noticed already during the last episode that your background is always light. My was always dark.
Oh yeah.
Yin, yin and yang. I'm
Yeah.
going deep into the depth of the shadow while
Hmm.
you are going up into the light.
Okay. I like that perspective.
Yeah, and even
Mm,
now we are balancing each other
mm,
out because we started from that perspective that a child, when they feel good, they are with open heart, they are creative, they are expressive, and all of that good jazz. But what stops, what blocks creativity and childlike expression is exactly all those thoughts that
mhm.
create emotional attachments.
Yeah.
And then when emotions are not being expressed, and that's what happened with me yesterday, I realized, I learned from that experience that I realized how much of many different thoughts and emotions I was swallowing and
Hmm.
not expressing. For example, my friend does something or I feel something from her that I don't like. I just swallow in
Hmm.
silence, suffer in silence, and because I'm afraid to lose the attachment to the friendship. And as a result of that, I was sacrificing my authenticity.
Ah, wow. Beautiful analysis.
And that's where trauma happens when we are afraid to lose attachment, then we sacrifice our authenticity.
Yeah.
And that's for me now what I discovered that the secret, the magic actually that happens is when we allow our inner child to express whatever a child feels, whatever a child thinks, regardless of opinions and
Hmm.
possible risks to lose somebody.
Yeah.
And you know what happened with me after that?
No, I'm very curious.
To, yesterday, all day was so heavy. I thought my head will blow out. I was crying most of the day.
Hmm.
And in that way, I was connecting to my inner child, like just by allowing myself to cry and have all of those thoughts and expressing all of that. I expressed so much to my dad. Oh my God, I don't know what he.
Did he
he wa-
respond already?
Not yet. He
Mm,
deleted
mm,
a message on WhatsApp and then he
mm,
called me, but I missed the call. We will have a talk now. But
mm.
yeah, it was such an emotional explosion that I had for so long time. And of
Wow.
course, because I swallowed so much of everything.
Yeah.
And I was like energetically exhausted.
Mm,
I wanted to sleep already at 8 p.m. I was so depleted. And before yesterday, I found myself being in the lack of creativity, in some kind of numbness. I was just living day by day like a camel trying to survive. Like, okay, I wake up at this time, I see the same views from my terrace, the same views. I eat the same thing at the same time. It
mm,
was such a boring routine, and I felt like zombie, like lifeless.
mm.
And when I expressed yesterday everything, today I can't even tell you how much energized, how much productive I was,
Wow.
how much creative.
Mm.
Everything just boom.
That's cool. Very cool.
And that's where I wanted to lead conversation too. That's what it means that we must listen to our inner child because our inner child leads us to
Hmm.
authentic success.
Yeah.
Because when a child feels happy and satisfied, then that child within us creates and it manifests what our heart wants.
From a very powerful space. Mm.
And I really liked actually today, just before going live, I watched one video on Facebook. One fellow lady shared that. I will quote, it was something along the lines that in order to do what you have to do, like daily chores and
Hmm.
obligations, you need to do what you need to.
In order to do what you have to do, you need to do what you need to do.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm a bit lost. Wait.
Uh,
In order to do what you... I don't get it. I don't know why I don't get it.
It's okay. It is confusing. In order to do what you have to do, you need to do what you need to do. So it means that in order to do what I need to do, follow up with my daily chores and obligations, I need to meet my needs.
Mm.
If my needs are not met, if the needs
Ah,
of inner child are not met, I will not do what I have to do because emotionally I will be drawing down and I will
yeah.
soak in that emotional attachment and that, oh, my needs are not met, and that will be most of the time that will be subconscious process.
Mm. Powerful quote.
Can you repeat? Do you remember?
In order to do what you have to do, you need to do what you need to do.
Yes,
Nice.
exactly.
I'm curious to apply it now and see if I notice also some things that I maybe need to do. Yeah. But so far, I cannot. I cannot have. I don't have an example.
For every morning, I can give you a tip. Every morning, or not every, just try to practice that. When you open your eyes, don't rush to wake up. I don't know, probably you don't, or you do, but don't rush to wake up and just try to connect with your little one and ask yourself, ask her, hey, my little one, what do you need today?
Hmm. I like it.
Or another way, even actually also very powerful, that when you feel the emotion arises, first of all, identify,
Mm.
give the name to that emotion. Okay, now I'm feeling sad, or now I'm feeling angry.
Yeah.
And then ask yourself, which need of yours is not being met so you feel that way?
Mm. Ah, yes. It's a good tip.
Is it that you feel not seen? Your need of not being seen, maybe your need of not having space, the need of not being, the need of being understood is not met.
Mm.
We have so many needs, and our inner child speaks through our emotion that, hey, that and that need is not met. Or maybe opposite, when the needs are met and a child is happy, it's like speaks through happiness, joy, and satisfaction, that I feel seen, I feel loved, I feel joy, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I all my needs are met because I feel that way. So every emotion is a message, and that's the way to connect to our inner child also.
Beautiful.
Something bubbles up.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm not sure how to formulate it. So the inner child would say that it's happy when it's seen, when it's loved, then it expresses joy. But um, that is in a sense not something to strive for per se, right? Because we don't need to be seen per se or loved by others in order to have this fulfilling feeling of peace. So I'm just curious. Our feelings are telling us something, but is then this feeling of this inner child like, oh, I'm loved, whatever, is that something that we should strive for? If that makes sense, my question.
Actually,
But or it also already comes from you within.
a very, very good question. And that was my lesson of yesterday, that when it's not coming from within, then those emotional attachments are created, that somebody else on the outside needs to give you that.
Actually, confirm or affirm it.
Yeah. But also, how to say, also, I see that external is equally important as the internal. Masculine is equally important as the feminine. Like material is equally
Mm,
important as the spiritual. So, yes, if somebody can't meet those needs, then we need to find a way how to meet ourselves. We need to give the acknowledgement to the person, to their capacity to be there for us in the way that we need. But if that person can't be, then
mm,
it's okay to ask it from somebody else. So that's why it's important to choose those people who have the capacity to meet our needs.
yeah.
It doesn't mean that we need to depend on them, always expect from them, but external, all of those people are very important also,
Mm,
because we can't be only self like internally. We are expression of the internal. And a child, when a child is small, especially a baby, right? um, why parents are doing all of that, oh, like to the baby,
mm,
like mimicking, giving all kind of emotions, because it's very important for a child's development. They mirror
mm.
child's emotions, and they multiply the uh, intensity of child's emotion. So
Okay.
then the brain develop in certain way that a child is familiar with different emotions, and they are familiar because somebody on the outside reflect them
Mm,
what is happening with them. So we need outside to reflect us. And if somebody can't meet that need, it doesn't mean that you need to do everything on your own.
mhm.
Some things you can do on your own, but also have in mind that you can always reach out to somebody else.
Powerful message.
Yeah, because I noticed that when those people who are very independent, very self-sufficient, actually I find those people being on another extreme of codependency,
Mm,
because codependency is that attachment to everything and everybody, while independence is another form of trauma response. When people didn't meet their needs, they felt abandoned, and they told to themselves that that's it, nobody cares about me, so
mhm.
I must be the one who takes care of myself. And I will
Yeah.
never allow others to help me. I will never allow myself to relate to other people and to give my trust to them that they can take care of some of my needs.
Out of fear of, yeah, trusting people or being afraid to be ditched again, maybe. Mm. Yeah, that's
A,
interesting.
a fear of attachment also,
Mm. Oh, yeah.
because if attachment is not satisfied, then it triggers the wound of abandonment.
Mm.
So always a
Nice. That's-
middle, always a balance, right?
Mhm. Yeah, interesting. I just wondered quickly, oh, am I choosing the too independent way? But I think it's okay. I have to think about it. But it was good to make me aware of something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have some homework.
Yes, for always. Yeah, for sure.
And
Um,
one, tell me,
no, I was curious, but maybe you still had it in mind if you're gonna share a card, or you want to do it at the end.
I just read your thoughts because
Yeah.
I wanted to share something from my notes, and then randomly was the card, the thought randomly
Nice.
hit
Yeah, I thought
the
before
card,
you
and I
forget.
was like, not yet, not now, and then you
Okay.
vocalized it.
Nice. Okay. Then we
So,
wait a bit.
okay, yeah, the first, before we go to the cards, by the way, what Tilly is actually talking that we actually, I am going to pull a card from, I chosen this deck from many that I have because I was looking for the most childlike deck. And for me, this is the most because it's like childlike pictures and uh, like
Oh, so cute.
creation.
Drawings. Yeah.
Yeah, drawings
Great.
and very deep messages as well. So we will come soon to that. The last thing that I feel is very, very important to mention is our inner parents. The same as we have our inner child, we do have the archetypes of our inner parent. So if a child, the innocence, um, let's say like that, the spirit speaks through the innocent heart of a child,
Okay.
while the spirit speaks through inner child. The inner child speaks through the heart, while the parents speak through the mind. So it's very important in order to connect to our inner child. It's important to recognize how are we treating our inner child, and we will know how by observing what the thoughts we are having.
Mm.
And based on those thoughts, what the behaviors we have towards ourselves. For example, I realized a few years ago that I was running on a very unconscious belief on the voice of my mom. Usually, my mom, yeah, my dad was not telling this. It was the voice of my mom, actually, my dad as well, who used to tell me when I was a kid that you can leave your desk, your table, and go out to play when you finish your homework.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a typical treatment of our
Yeah.
generation. Our parents wanted all the best for us, like to have good grades at school, and at least I was allowed to go and play when I was done with my duties and obligations. And I realized that I was treating myself exactly the same way in adulthood. My to do list is the longest. Physically, it's not possible to do
Yeah.
everything in one day. And because I didn't finish in one day, I was punishing my little one
Mm.
by not allowing her to play.
Aha. Very strict for yourself.
Yes.
Ah, interesting.
And what happens then when, in a long period of time, you are treating your inner child this way? And I will speak from my side because that's what happened with me. How do you think what happens when, for a long period of time, a parent doesn't allow a child to go and have fun?
Get sad or also frustrated, angry, maybe. Um,
Depressed
yeah, probably.
because no fun.
Uh-huh. True.
All that the brain develops the addiction to, all the chemicals that the brain releases is stress. That,
Mm.
oh, and then all kind of thoughts. I'm not good enough because I didn't finish all my to-do list on time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I shouldn't, I'm not worthy to enjoy life because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't finish my homework.
Oh, wow. It's
Those
really interesting
subconscious.
to see where that's coming from then and analyze it.
Yeah. And that's what happens with adults when they lose the balance of work and play.
Mm.
When they find themselves overworked and they don't allow themselves to play.
Powerful. Work hard, play hard, right?
Yes, exactly. Because
Yeah.
when you allow, and that's how you bring yourself into authentic success, is by allowing your child to play. Because in that play time, what
Mm.
happens on the biological level, physical level, the brain gets empty.
Mm.
A
Nice.
child loses the thoughts, and in that space of nothingness, then divine comes, all
Wow.
insights and solutions to the problems that you are soaking in and
Yeah.
spending much time to solve those. Suddenly, bingo, epiphany moments, and everything is clear. Or, oh, this is the idea how I can solve my problem with.
Great. Yeah, I love that feeling of, well, you say it beautifully, the divine comes true. The feeling of being inspired, inspiration.
Yeah.
It's yeah, again, food for thought for me also to see maybe I have patterns that I took over from my parents unconsciously that withhold the inner child from being expressed.
And you know what? For you and for those who will be listening, who is listening, you can do a homework like journaling. Take a
Mm.
notebook and write down the memories from your childhood. What stood out for you the most? Like how, in this case, like how was your school time? How did your parents relate to you in terms of the school? And write down all the beliefs that you heard from your parents. And then maybe you will get epiphany moments at that time during journaling, or just put aside,
Mm.
and when time comes, you will notice repeating the same pattern. But journaling really is a very powerful tool to work with the unconscious aspect of self. And actually, in our child, uh, I didn't try this, but people say that it really works when you write with your left hand.
Okay.
Left hand is your inner child.
Oh.
Your right hand is your adult self.
Oh, I tried that once, sometimes for fun, but it's really hard. It's not readable, but okay. Funny trick. And then it helps to express your emotions even better or get insights.
It's not necessarily maybe emotional expression, but it can be, of course. I heard some stories when inner child wrote that uh, you forgot me, or that,
Okay.
yeah, like it
Those
was
real
literally,
things, messages come through.
yeah.
Mm.
But somehow, if you ask me,
Wow.
I don't believe about left right, because I tried with my uh, right hand and it was equally successful. My inner
Okay.
child just kicked my ass very badly.
Hmm. This is a nice thing to try. So ask for a message from your inner child and then start writing with your left hand and or right and see what comes
Yeah,
up.
just
Wow.
automatic writing, journaling, and
Yeah.
first, of course, take a few deep breaths and set the intention that, hey, my little one, I want to speak with you. And you can even feel into the age of her. Like, okay,
Mm.
which age wants to show up now? Because in different times, different age. It can be teenage Tilly, 5 years old Tilly.
Mm.
When you feel that she's there and ready to speak, and you will feel it through emotions that will start bubbling up. When those emotions arise, you know that she's present.
Beautiful. Okay. Nice homework exercise for everyone.
Yeah,
And
and myself
me.
included.
Yes.
So now I think we spoke quite much. Let me just remind the topic that inner child, the one you must listen to succeed authentically. Yes, guys. So after all that we shared, I guess there is no any doubt about the necessity to listen to our inner child, and I gave a few tips how to do it, how to reconnect it, how to allow your little one to play, to have fun, in order for you to succeed in life and to achieve your heart's desires. And for now, the last thing before we go, I chosen the most childish, not childish, childlike deck, very beautiful with a child's art and very deep messages. And whatever the message wants to come, I like when it jumps out. Let's see what it's all about. And oh,
No,
okay,
there you go.
very many flew out on the
Very many.
table. Yeah, but one flew out on the ground, and I feel that that one
Okay.
on the ground is, of course, because it's the color of yellow and orange and red and green. All of those colors are inner child, like self-confidence. Solar plexus yellow, red is I am, expression of I am.
Mm.
Combining yellow with the red, and green is the heart. So yeah, expressing who you are from the heart. That's the message of the inner child that I am already channeling, probably just seeing this. But it's also a message. You are healing. The message is you are
Oh,
healing.
I love it. But is
And
it like the person is itself is healing or you are healing others?
Now I have a message
Oh,
here.
okay, nice. I'm waiting.
So, what it says: healing happens in seasons. It can't be rushed or forced to fit a schedule. So often we so often we curse the seeds that haven't taken root, failing to realize it's not their time. They need more water, sunlight, and care.
Hmm.
Bullying ourselves blocks regeneration. Also, sometimes the healing we are focused on isn't the healing that's taking place. There's a much deeper healing going on. Be patient, dear one. You are healing.
Oh wow, that's a beautiful message.
Can you relate to it? Did it touch you? Does it resonate with what is happening in your life?
Yeah, I think for sure. You feel like I'm so used the word purifying a lot in the last months. So many old patterns of behavior anxieties come up. So this, and then also the judgment part about wanting, having desires and not manifesting. So it all connects. Like, okay, wait for the right timing and see that there's a lot going on right now. Um, yeah, which is part of the process.
Yeah, and for me
Yeah.
also, when I was reading, I was so giggling inside because you remember my tomatoes in the terrace, right?
The plants who fell?
The
No.
no, in the
Oh,
terrace, tomatoes. You know
yeah.
those.
I'm not sure if
Every,
I remember, but
yeah, those were the tomatoes in big pots, right?
uh-huh.
So uh, it was already a season a while ago, and people already had like fruits of labor for like they are people are eating already tomatoes, and I still don't have neither one. And every time I go and water them, I realized that I was cursing them. I was like, when the fuck are you going to give me tomatoes?
Wow, yes, this is a powerful message.
And
Whoa.
then, yeah, and then it was the thought came to me that Lily, your tomatoes reflect your life because in my life all
Cool.
because in my life also I planted so many seeds and I don't see the results and
Yeah,
it
and then you keep
frustrates me.
judging it for not being there.
Yeah,
Wow, powerful metaphor.
and now I realize when I had that very difficult experience and very liberating experience yesterday, I realized actually um, how much I didn't see that I needed that healing, how
Mm.
much my inner child was actually crying, and I didn't see that. And of course, things will not move forward if something on emotional level is blocking, because first comes intangible, first is feminine, first is energy, which manifests the material. So if the material is not happening, always go back within. Ask what is with my energy that is blocking the manifestation.
Mm.
Maybe it's you just need more time, or maybe you need to resolve something within your spirit.
So you can ask that to your inner child as well. What is blocking me from my manifestation? Mm.
And I found the answer yesterday was emotional attachments that I today I feel like I'm dropping everything.
Wow, great that you feel
Yeah.
so light. Mm. Cool.
Well, if you feel complete, then we are ready to go.
Yes, it was nice. Thanks again for the talk. I
And
feel
same
like
to you.
I learned a lot again.
And I really love that white aspect that you always bring, that joyous, that loving, that sunshine. And yeah,
Thanks.
I keep shining.
Thank you. Nice to hear you too.
And during the next episode, probably next time, Tilly will share some mantras to sing to allow
Yes.
her inner child to speak through the love of her heart.
Beautiful. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, dear, see you, hear you around soon in the next topics.
Then I will end. Oh.